What's up guys, Lisa here of Borderlands Bakery, and I have here with me
Malek from Foster by Malek Benz.
And we are going to share with you a recipe for a birthday cake, which can be used for cupcakes, layered cakes, pretty much anything you want. It's absolutely delicious, super versatile. Once you get that base recipe down, you can adjust the flavors however you want. Today in this video specifically, we're going to show you how to make it and how to bake it. And in the upcoming series, we're also going to show you how to make the buttercream that goes along with it, as well as crumb coat it, fill it, and then do some basic decorating. And Malek is also going to show you how to cut them, right? How to get the most out of your cake.
Yes.
So stay tuned for all of those mini videos that are coming up.
In order to make your birthday cake, here are the ingredients that you will need. Sugar, sour cream, eggs, salted butter, milk, your flavorings, which includes vanilla bean, almond extract, and vanilla extract, our leveling agent, which is baking powder and baking soda, nonpareil sprinkles, and our homemade cake flour, which consists of all-purpose and cornstarch.
So when it comes to homemaking cake flour, it's super easy. We'll drop the ratios down in the description box below. But basically the most important thing is that you either sift the dry ingredients together or you just use a fork and get them nicely combined so that you don't get any clumps.
All measurements will be listed in the description box below and also on Borderlands Bakery's blog.
If you like what you see here today, definitely give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in the future. Here's the equipment that we're going to be using today for our cake batter. I'm going to be using a stand mixer with our beater attachment. I'm going to use some Baker's Joy. This is the baking spray with flour, and Malek likes the one with flour, not the Pam, right? Tell me why. Tell me why.
I love using Baker's Joy. This is my favorite. I don't use regular non-stick cooking spray because it's butter and you're gonna be applying more caramelization to your cake. So this one is preferred for baking because it's flour and not butter or canola oil. So it's just to help not only give less caramelization, but also prevent a lot of stickiness to your cake.
It'll just release easier with no flavor added, right?
So this is a baking staple that I love in the kitchen.
We're also going to be using these 6-inch round cake tins. We're going to be using 3 of them for a 3-layer cake today. 6-inch cake, 3 layers. How many people do you think that feeds?
Right about like 15 people if you cut it in slices, but when we talk about the cake cutting a little later, you can get as much as about 30.
We're also going to be using Parchment Rounds. These are 6-inch Parchment Rounds that go at the bottom of your cake tins. It also helps with easier release and just keeps everything really clean together and, you know, without crumbling apart or anything like that.
Right.
We'll be using these 2 in conjunction for the most kind of like robust cake layer. And then finally, we're going to be using a mixing bowl to mix all of our ingredients in.
We're gonna be creaming the butter and the sugar until it's light and fluffy for about 2.5 minutes.
So why do we wanna cream it together? Why is that so important?
Creaming the butter and sugar is extremely important when you're making cake because it's the start of the crumb, basically. So you want it to be light and fluffy. The lighter it is, it's gonna give you an end result of light cake. So if you don't mix it enough, you're gonna have a dense and dry cake. So it's really important at the start that you are preventing that to happen.
So one of the other things to keep in mind is you want your butter, eggs, and sour cream, milk, all that to be at room temperature. And what that really means is about 75 degrees.
Yes.
That makes it much easier for all the ingredients to combine together. If it's too cold, you're gonna get some curdling, your eggs will look real gross.
Yes.
And we don't want that because that's not gonna make everything very even.
Right. We are going to add an egg one at a time and mix it because we want to make sure everything is combined evenly. If we were to add all 3 of the eggs, everything won't get mixed within the right amount of time because we could assume adding 3 eggs for 1 minute, like you gotta give about 30 seconds for like each egg. So if I was to add all 3 and only mix it for 30 seconds, that's not enough time.
So now we're gonna add in the sour cream. And why are we adding sour cream? I
love adding sour cream to cakes. First of all, it sounds really weird when you hear it, but it's actually pretty common in most cake recipes. It's to give moistness into your cake. A lot of people use mayonnaise. That's another.
Mayonnaise?
Yes, mayonnaise.
I have not heard of it. You got like cake flour all over your face. Go look at the mirror. Go look at the mirror.
What happened to my face?
Now that we've cleaned Malek up, we're adding sour cream because sour cream keeps your cakes more moist, right?
Yes, it ensures your cakes to be moist.
I never heard of mayo. I've heard of like pudding mix,
yes,
but I've never heard of mayo.
Pudding is another great way, but mayonnaise, yes. Especially in chocolate cake, they use mayonnaise too.
We're gonna have to test that out. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's incorporate the sour cream. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is add our flavoring. So this is a combination of vanilla bean paste, because that stuff is delicious, vanilla extract, and almond extract. That iconic like birthday cake flavor that you get always has a little bit of almond in it to complement the vanilla. And I will scrape, just combine a little bit. All right, do we need the beater anymore? A little bit for the milk?
Yeah, the milk. You can put your milk in, and then the flour.
Milk. What about our leavening?
Oh, the leavening. You can add it in your, yeah. There you go.
Added it into the flour.
Your dry ingredients.
And then we're gonna just kind of combine this. So I'm gonna hold on to this. Why don't you beat that? Yes, I'm gonna combine the dry. All right, now we're done, right? We can just fold the flour in?
Yes, you can fold the dry ingredients.
All right, so you can grab this to release. Oops. Oh, that was close.
You fancy, huh?
I'm fancy. All right, I will fold in the dry ingredients. So we don't want to overmix the flour, right, Malek?
No, you do not want to overmix your cake batter, any cake batter at that.
Why?
It will ensure a dry cake, because as you're mixing and stirring, you're incorporating air. So try to remember that as you're adding ingredients, you're also adding in air. So you definitely want to...
Come switch with me.
Definitely do not want to overmix, because after all of your hard work and dedication, you do not want a dry cake, especially for a birthday.
I'm not being like crazy gentle, but I'm basically just stirring it in. I went really slow at the beginning because I didn't want the flour to get everywhere, but now that it's more combined, I can go a little faster. You just want to make sure all the flour is incorporated and stop just then, right? And this is a really thick cake batter compared to like the store-bought cake, which is pretty runny.
Yes.
But I promise you it's going to be okay.
No, that's fine.
Make sure you get all the bits. Kind of like making macaron batter, but don't squeeze it too much. A little bit of chunks is okay. Those will usually bake out, no problem, and create little pockets in your cake. Almost there. I'm just looking for kind of pockets of flour and make sure that all that gets combined. Malek, would you show us how to prep the cake pans?
Yes, for sure. So let me go ahead and grab
I'm gonna keep mixing this
cake pan. So I'm gonna grab my pan and my baking spray, again by Baker's Joy, my favorite, and I'm just going to generously spray an amount on the bottom and on the sides, and just generously spray. Make sure you get all throughout the sides. And then I am going to grab a parchment circle and I'm just gonna pop it right in. And just to be safe, I'm just gonna spread a little bit on top as well. Just like that. And that's how you prep your cake pan.
So pans are prepped, batter is ready to go, and it's thick and beautiful. And then we're going to mix in some of our nonpareils. You can use any sprinkles you like. Sprinkles behave pretty differently, so some of them might bleed a little bit, some of them might bake out. These are from Sweet Polita. We got a coupon code for you down below for 10% off your first purchase. And just sprinkle to your heart's desire. So as I sprinkle, will you fold them in?
Yes.
Remember to reserve some for
decoration.
Decorating.
Yes.
So let's start with that. I'm pretty generous with my sprinkles, honestly.
Same. I mean, it's a birthday cake. We gotta go big.
Yeah, right? Make it festive. I think that's about enough, probably. Yeah.
All right.
So he's folding it in, getting it nicely incorporated and distributed in the batter.
All right.
And then after this, we're going to spread the batter out between 3 of our baking pans.
Yes.
And I like to use a scale to help me kind of evenly distribute them. And these pans are actually surprising. They are made well and consistently, so they all weigh the same. So I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna zero out my scale. You're gonna help me remember how much I put in there.
I will.
So I'm gonna do grams. So the pan itself weighs 96 grams. I bet it'll be within a gram of each other. 97 grams, 95, 96 grams. So very, very well made, consistent pans. And I'm just not going to tear it. I'm just going to keep it here and then divide this into a couple of grams plus or minus isn't going to make a huge difference. And the next thing we want to do is we're just going to try to even them out. We're going to get these in the oven, bake at 350 for about 20 minutes. Make sure it's actually 350 in your oven by using an oven thermometer. And then how do we know that they're going to be done?
You could use a toothpick to insert it in the middle, and as it come out, you're looking for a dry crumb. If it's wet, let it bake for a few more minutes.
So we don't really want stuff sticking to that
Yes.
toothpaste or
Yes.
whatever we're sticking in. So the other thing you might notice with these is they might puff a little bit in the middle, no big deal. You can trim them later, or you don't have to trim them even. And then, yeah, it'll be great. So I'm just evening these out a little bit. Yum. It's a lot of sprinkles. I'm not mad at it.
Love you.
We're gonna check on the case shortly. You can kind of tell that it's still bowing a little bit in the middle, which tells us that it needs a couple more minutes. Every oven is different, and I think what you'll find is there are hot spots in certain ovens, like mine is a little warmer at the back. The front are not baking as quickly as the one in the back. So just all little things to keep in your mind when you're baking. Malek.
Oh yeah, it's jiggling. I can already tell in the middle.
It's not done.
Not ready.
Yeah, it's still quite wet. So I'm
Still
gonna
quite
push
wet.
this one in the back. I'm gonna rotate the position.
Oh yeah.
Let me see that.
We're gonna check this again, you guys. We gave another 5 minutes because it was super jiggly in the middle, and we're gonna see how it's doing. Ooh, it looks good. It's
And
still a
see the
little
jiggle
jiggly,
went away.
but
No more jiggling.
still needs some time.
Oh yeah, still need more time. Almost there.
Almost done.
Almost there.
All right, shall we? We're gonna test it again. I think it looks good.
Getting better and better.
It's done.
Middle.
It's done. Is it not done? Oh man, it still needs a couple minutes. Still needs a couple
Yeah, a
minutes.
couple of minutes. It's getting better though. It's getting thicker each time that
Let's do this. Ready? All right. Testing again. Oh, it's done. I can see it's done.
Yeah.
All right, it's done. So cakes just came out of the oven, and we're going to let them cool on the stove for about 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to flip them out onto saran wrap them up so that it keeps it moist, right?
Yes, keeps it moist.
And then we're not adding any syrup, nothing like that.
No,
we're going to throw it in the freezer.
Yep.
How long are we going to throw it in the freezer for?
I usually do an hour is good, or a couple of hours or overnight. You can do this way ahead of time before you actually start decorating, but an hour is good.
So we'll do that, and then we'll meet you back here, and then we'll talk about buttercream.
Buttercream.